What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Down Once More. I'm your host, Matt, and we are kicking off March's podcast episodes with your regular preview of what is coming to streaming and theaters this month, kind of what stood out to me, what I'm excited about, what are some classics that are coming, what you should be on the lookout for. As always, there are time codes in the description of the video on YouTube, the episode on Apple, Spotify, all those podcast platforms, so you can know where to skip to find your particular favorite streaming platform of choice. Or maybe you should just check out the whole thing and see if there's any other streaming platforms you want to hit up for a nice binge of a show that intrigues you. At the end of the podcast episode, I will be talking a little Broadway musical news, as well as revealing what I will be seeing in the upcoming year at my theater that does the Broadway national tours, what I will be seeing on those tours, so that you know what reviews will be coming to the podcast in the 26-27 season. Before I get into any of that, though, I'll kick off the episode, our opening act, with kind of my watch report of what I have been watching lately. I got caught up on a few series, finished up a few series, and my favorite out of the list has to be A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I was woefully regretting my words when I said after the first episode on here that it didn't really grab me enough. I wasn't sure there was enough meat there to do weekly reviews like there was the massive world of Thrones or House of the Dragon in general. But I mean, it wouldn't have worked out anyways. I was in the hospital. I was behind multiple episodes. Well, hospital with my wife for a couple weeks, all that fun stuff. And so I just got to catch up on it right before the finale. And man, after the first episode and a little bit the second one, episodes 3 through 6 just hit the ground like it was nonstop. I absolutely love this. I think this might be my favorite thing in the Game of Thrones universe since season 3 or 4 of the original series. I did enjoy House of the Dragon, particularly season 1, and I'm excited for season 3 kicking off in June and plan on doing weekly reviews on the pod here. But man, this just so much heart for such a small scaled down series, which has big implications and a lot of characters and names that you'll recognize in it. But Peter Claffey as Sir Duncan the Tall and Dexter Solancel as Egg, absolutely amazing performances from people who, to me, were pretty much relative unknowns. Dexter Solancel especially. This kid, I usually can't stand child actors. One of the best performances I have seen in a new show, and every interview I see with him and talking just seems like I love that kid. He's so great, absolutely amazing. Even if you're not a Game of Thrones fan, this is a more grounded series. You're not having as many fantasy elements or dragons or things like that. So it is more small scale, kind of harkens a little bit more in that world to like A Knight's Tale than House of the Dragon, right? But man, it has the big like emotional moments and payoff and some needle drop moments that like the original Thrones, especially the early seasons, had. It's amazing. It's 6 episodes. I think the longest one is like 45 minutes. They're usually between like 30-40 minutes long. Quick watch. Cannot recommend it enough. Another thing, I got on a kick and watched both dramatization series based on Betty Gore's Axe Murder from 1980. I was looking for something new, looking for kind of like a true crime dramatization story, and I found Love and Death, which I'd seen previews for back when it was an HBO Max original. It's now streaming on Netflix. It stars Elizabeth Olsen as Candy Montgomery, Jesse Plemons as Alan Gore, and it's a 7-episode limited series, and I got sucked into it. I loved how they told the story. I loved the performances that made you buy in. I was not familiar with the story, so this was kind of my first exposure to it. I just remembered seeing it. And then when I was about like 3 episodes in, I was like, you know what? I think I saw there was another series that came out about this. I remember that being a talking point when Love and Death released in 2023. And sure enough, there was the Hulu original limited series that was 5 episodes long that came out in 2022 that starred Jessica Biel as Candy Montgomery and Pablo Schreiber as Alan Gore. Now, after watching both series, I preferred the pacing and how they told the story in Love and Death, the HBO Max series. Part of that could have been it was the first one I watched. And so Jesse Plemons' performance of Alan Gore versus Pablo Schreiber's very different. And I tended to appreciate Jesse Plemons' performance more. I felt like the HBO Max series with the 2 extra episodes and how they decided to tell the story gave the story more room to breathe and helped you kind of get more invested and buy in. Whereas the Candy, the Hulu series with 5 episodes, felt like you were moving kind of at a breakneck speed, and you missed out on some stuff. They also made some choices, like they changed Betty and Alan Gore's kids' names in it, whereas Love and Death used their actual names. Like, their names are out there, but that was just like a weird thing for me because I watched Love and Death first, and I'm like, wait, I thought their names were this, and I had to look it up and Google true story stuff. But I mean, they're very similar. Because the same basic story, right? Same basic premise. They're both they're dramatizations, so there's fictional events thrown in there too, but there's going to be some of the same dialogue moments, partially because that's what actually happened in police reports. They're going to have a lot of those same beats. If you just watch one, though, I would recommend Love and Death out of those 2. For movies, well, let's do series. Let's stick on series. I finished Spartacus, House of Asher, Starz' revitalization of their Spartacus franchise. I think it's been close to 8 years since the final series of that ended. And so kind of an alternate telling, what if Asher lived? What if he was the one who killed Spartacus? And the first few episodes, I wasn't really sure what to think. But it was this 10 episode season. And by episode 5, it really picked up, and I found myself buying in and looking forward to watching it every week as soon as possible. The action got better, a little more fast paced. The first few episodes seemed like I don't know what was going on with it. I got invested in the characters, the story, and I really hope it gets greenlit for a second season. I'm excited to see where it could go from where season 1 ended. Another one I can't remember if I talked about on here was the newest MCU series, Wonder Man, on Disney Plus. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II and Ben Kingsley were both absolutely amazing in it. This is another 6-episode series. I think this, I don't know if it's because they dropped all 6 episodes at once. Not enough people were talking about this. It's something completely different than anything else we've seen in the MCU so far. Amazing performances. I loved the unique take and telling the stories. I think it's one of the best products they've put out there, next to like Loki and WandaVision and Daredevil Born Again. Those are kind of the 3 that I enjoyed the most. The Falcon and Winter Soldier had its moments, and I don't know, but I really enjoyed Wonder Man. I think more people should check it out. It doesn't even necessarily feel like a superhero show. It does it in a very kind of meta way that I thought was amazing. I felt like it was very cleverly written. It has a very unique, like, kind of condensed episode. The Doorman episode that I felt like was amazing. And I just really enjoyed it overall. And it's got a number of episodes directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who is directing Spider-Man Brand New Day, which will be the next MCU movie and releases in July, I believe, maybe June, and made me really excited about that and the story that he's going to tell, even though it seems like it's getting a very crowded movie with who all is in it. But that'll kind of do it for series that I watch. In the movie franchise, I watched 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. This is one I was hoping to see in theaters, did not get the chance to. It did underperform a little bit in theaters, unfortunately. But man, Ralph Fiennes and Jack O'Connell give absolutely amazing and stellar performances in this. If you like the 28 days there, so the original 28 days, then there was 28 weeks later, a few years later, then a big gap, then they did 28 years later last year, and that was the first in what was a planned trilogy. We got 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which is a direct sequel to that, and I feel like the marketing of this makes it feel like a very different movie than it was, but I absolutely love the performances. I love the story it told. I really enjoyed this movie. And people are concerned because in the official 28 years later account, when they were announcing that this was out on digital, we're saying the conclusion, that's 28 years in the making. So worried that because of the performance, maybe the third movie in the trilogy is not getting greenlit, which would be unfortunate based on how the Bone Temple leads off and what it sets up for what the third movie could be. So we will see. Go watch it. Hopefully once it has a great digital showing, and then once it hits streaming, that picks up some numbers and just kind of inspires them to do the third movie. Nia DaCosta did a great job directing this as well. So I love the Bone Temple. Another thing I watched was Taylor Tomlinson's new comedy special on Netflix, Prodigal Daughter. This was hilarious. It was, I feel like, besides being a man, I'm like the target audience for this. She spends a lot of time talking about being raised super religious Christian in the church. Some great VeggieTale content in this special. And so that kind of spoke to me. A lot of laughs in this one, not really any groans in it. It was very well written, well put together. Taylor Tomlinson is a great performer and just has great comedic timing as well. So I could not recommend this special enough. Go check it out on Netflix. And then the final thing that I watched and wanted to call out is The Bluff on Amazon Prime. This is one when I talked about last month that it was coming to Prime Video that I wasn't quite sure what to expect from it. It stars Priyanka Chopra Jonas as Bloody Mary and Carl Urban as Captain Connor. Who had been a pirate captain that she had kind of betrayed. And so he's coming after her and her family now. I thought this would be pretty cheesy, over the top. It is a little over the top, but if you go in expecting this to be a fun streaming movie, you're going to have a great time. The action was amazing. They gave Carl Urban's pirates and him as Captain Connor some kind of unique advanced weapons, but not in like a Wild Wild West way or a cheesy way. Like I thought it was very well done. They were like subtle enough that it was great. There's a great crocodile moment in this that I won't completely spoil, but I love me a creature feature, which we'll talk about later a little bit. And this wasn't that, but had a great moment. The action was a lot of fun. Priyanka Chopra Jonas does a fantastic job in it. Carl Urban is fantastic as always as well. So I would recommend this. Great fun watch, and I think we need more pirate content. Black Sails, one of my favorite shows of all time. So fun to see this movie come out and be a good time. All right. Let's get into what is coming to streaming this month. Let's start off with Netflix, as we always do. They had a few things drop on March 1st that I thought were of note that I wanted to call out. Chef, the fantastic Jon Favreau movie. Sicario, the entire 50 Shades series, if you want to get your kink on. The Lego Movie, Zombieland, Desperado, and The Green Knight, which is one of the most beautiful movies that I've ever seen. Visually, it is stunning and amazing. The movie itself, kind of slow, kind of long, but it tells a cool story, and like I said, it is a visual feast. On March 5th, a new erotic drama series, Vladimir, comes out. On March 6th, War Machine, a new sci-fi action movie with Alan Ritchson, which sign me up for anything Alan Ritchson is in. I am a big fan of his. I think he is fantastic in Reacher over on Prime. I enjoyed him in Titans, and he has good comedic roles in Blue Mountain State. So that was where I was first introduced to him. And also on the 6th, you have the CGI The Dinosaurs documentary, which I'm a sucker for some dinosaur stuff. It looks like some pretty solid CGI telling the story of the dinosaurs from beginning to end. See the different creatures, characters. Looks like a good time. I'll probably be checking that out. On March 7th, the Russell Crowe starring war drama Nuremberg comes to Netflix. And then on March 10th, the live action adaptation of One Piece has its second season premiere on Netflix. March 11th, seasons 1 through 4 of The Man in High Castle come out, which tells an alternate reality where if the Germans and their allies won World War II. On March 14th, the Bob Odenkirk starring Nobody 2 comes out, which I talked about, I think it was last month's What to Watch. It is over the top. It was ridiculous. It's everything happens conveniently in it, but it is a great fun. Shut your brain off. You don't need to know why it's happening. It's just happening and it's a good time. So nice fun action movie there. And on March 17th, Netflix comedy special that I'm excited for this month is Mark Norman's None Too Pleased. Mark Norman is one of the few comedians I have seen live. His delivery, his style is not for everyone, but man, when I'm in the right mood, it hits and I enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to checking out that comedy special. On March 19th, the entire Saw series drops, including Jigsaw, and also the award-winning movie from, I believe, a couple years ago now, Anatomy of a Fall. On March 20th, the Netflix original movie Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man, follow-up from their hit Peaky Blinders series, which has been on my list, but I have not checked out yet. But the trailer for this movie made me want to go and watch the series. Cillian Murphy's Tommy Shelby returns in World War II to bombed out Birmingham to kind of help with secret wartime missions and deal with his past. Barry Keoghan plays his son, and Tim Roth and Rebecca Ferguson are in it as well. It looks like a good movie. It looks like very intense. And like I said, makes me want to go check out the original show so then I can watch this movie. And then on March 26th, another Netflix original movie, Something Very Bad is going to happen. This looks like a psychological thriller, drama, some horror elements. The entire trailer is just people saying, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry a bunch of times, kind of supercut with kind of jolting moments and a wedding. So intrigued for this, going to be checking that out when it hits Netflix on the 26th. Let's hop on over to Apple TV Plus. Only two things there I want to highlight. The first is a new series with Kerry Washington, Elizabeth Moss, Kate Mara, and Joel Kinnaman, and that is Imperfect Women. And so it follows an investigation into the murder of a wealthy woman, played by Kate Mara, and the dark secrets that are kind of uncovered about her life and her friends, who are played by Kerry Washington and Elizabeth Moss. These three inseparable. One of them dies. What is at the heart of it? What is the mystery going on? So the trailer has me hooked. Looks like a ton of fun. It's going to be an 8-episode series. It didn't officially say limited series, so we'll see. My guess is that it's kind of a contained story, so we'll see. On March 27th, season 5 of For All Mankind, the acclaimed sci-fi space series on Apple TV that I've heard great things about. Again, it is on my list. I have so many things on my list, especially when I research like things for this. I've started when I'm like, what am I going to watch tonight? I go back and look at my list of, okay, what did I say was coming to streaming this month, and try to pick from those. So that's how I remembered The Bluffs and the Taylor Thomason special. So let's hop on over to Prime Video. On March 1st, they dropped both the 1976 and the 2013 versions of Carrie, as well as Hitch, the entire Shrek series, Superbad, The Shallows, which is one of my favorite shark kind of attack movies with Blake Lively. It's a very like contained story, but I saw this in theaters back when it came out and thought it was great. I've rewatched it a couple times since then. Still holds up. I love a creature feature, like I said. It doesn't even necessarily need to be that good. I just love a shark attack movie, giant crocodile, like Rogue, like things like that. I love it. I'm a sucker for it. And then also, if you want to get your Hannibal Lecter fix in, you can watch The Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal. Both of those dropped on Prime Video on the 1st as well. Today, on March 4th, the new series from Guy Ritchie, Young Sherlock, debuts. So Guy Ritchie, he did do the movies with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law, but this looks like it's kind of its own separate universe because it has Sherlock Holmes and James Moriarty meeting and interacting with each other then. It looks like it has some classic Guy Ritchie, kind of the comedy notes, the action notes, the film style. It looks great. I'm really excited to check this one out. Another new Prime Original series, Scarpetta, comes out on March 11th. This stars Nicole Kidman as the medical examiner, something Scarpetta is her last name, and she is faced with a case that is very similar to back in 1998 when she first took the job. Case kind of made her. She left. She came back in 2026 and is faced with serial killings and murders that harken back to that first case. It is based on the Patricia Cornwell novels, and it looks very good. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it as well, Bobby Cannavale, and so a solid cast in this. Looks interesting. I'm excited to check it out. March 16th, Channing Tatum movie Roofman comes to Prime. On March 18th, season 4 of Robert Kirkman's adaptation, the animated series Invincible, comes out. This is one that unfortunately I fell off of. I loved season 1. I'd read a number of the graphic novel compendiums. I've not finished the entire graphic novel series. I think it's still actually going. But I watched season 1. There was a huge lag between season 1 and 2. Then by the time season 2 came around, I started it, but there were so many other things I was watching. Kind of got spoiled for choice, and I've fallen off. But all accounts, it's still been a great series, so I need to get back into it. On March 20th, Jury Duty presents Company Retreat, not just Treat, the follow-up to their hit Jury Duty series, which saw all actors and one normal person who was on jury duty. This sees all actors and one normal person who just got a job at a small family-owned business. They go on a company retreat and are faced with hearing that they're going to be selling the company. The owner's son comes back. Looks like ridiculous drama. Looks like a ton of fun from the trailer. I'm excited to check this out. And I do need to go back and check out the original Jury Duty series as well, because I heard great things about it. On March 22nd, Mercy comes out. This is the pro-surveillance state movie with Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson as an AI, which I heard nothing but bad things about. I don't think I heard a single good thing from people who saw this movie. But hey, if you want to stream it, watch it for free on Amazon Prime, you can do that on the 22nd. On March 25th, a new original movie, Pretty Lethal, comes out. This stars Uma Thurman as a former ballerina who is now in crime world, and Iris Apatow, Judd Apatow's daughter, who was great in Euphoria, Avantika, who was great in Mean Girls, and Lana Condor, who was great in To All the Boys I Have Loved, play new ballerinas who are traveling and find themselves at Uma Thurman's place. And action, comedy, a little bit of horror thriller elements in it. Looks interesting. I'm excited to check it out. And then also new series Bait. This stars Riz Ahmed. The only thing we have is like a first look clip at it. Riz Ahmed plays a struggling actor who is on the cusp of landing the James Bond role. He has a audition for it. An article goes out in the first look clip, and it's his family and friends talking about it. Which, this is a little bit meta, I feel like, because Amazon did acquire the rights to the James Bond franchise, and there is speculation of who will play James Bond. So who knows? Maybe this is how they're going to soft launch it. Maybe it is their trial to see if how people will feel about Riz Ahmed as James Bond. I don't know, but I am intrigued by it. That drops on the 25th. Also on the 25th, all seasons of the FX series The Shield come out. This is a very intense, gritty show that Michael Chiklis gives an amazing performance as a dirty cop in it. And it is intense. And it's been a few years since I watched it, but I loved it. So you can check that out on Prime Video on the 25th. And then on the 27th, Wicked for Good moves on over to Prime Video. So you can stream that on there starting the 27th. Over on HBO Max, a few things premiered on March 1st. They dropped Crazy Stupid Love, Date Night, Little Miss Sunshine, Memento, Christopher Nolan, one of his original movies. Guy Pearce gives an amazing performance. Happy Death Day, which is one of my favorite kind of newer genre, like Groundhog Day meets horror. Final Destination 1 through 5. Spider-Man 1 through 3, Sam Raimi's original ones. The 40-Year-Old Virgin, The Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 2, which I'm a sucker for Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker. I feel like and Spider-Man. I feel like Tobey Maguire is a great Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield is a great Spider-Man. Tom Holland is great at both. So that's kind of my breakdown of the different Spider-Man, in case you were wondering. The Terminator, V for Vendetta, and The Greatest Showman, Pasek and Paul's original movie musical with Hugh Jackman as P.T. Barnum, who a lot more problematic in real life than they portray him in the movie. But both the movie and the sing-along version of the movie debut on HBO Max on the 1st. Another thing that debuted on the 1st was DTF St. Louis. This is a new comedy mystery series with Jason Bateman, David Harbour, Linda Cardellini. I actually got the opportunity. I'm actually re-recording this episode because new things happened after I recorded it originally. And so I got to watch the first episode of this, and it's unique. Jason Bateman, David Harbour are great in it. I'm really intrigued where this story is going, how the episode ends. Want to see how the rest of the things play out. It has some time jumps in it, so you know where the story started, where it ends, and so the rest of the season is going to tell us what happened in the middle. But it all started when Jason Bateman tries to get David Harbour into DTF, Down to Fuck St. Louis app. So problematic. Just don't do that. Don't do it. On March 8th, so this coming Sunday, a new series, Rooster, premieres. This stars Steve Carell. He's an author. He goes to, his daughter works at a college. He follows her to a college campus. She burns down a faculty house. Her marriage is falling apart. She's married to Phil Dunster, have an affair, who played Jamie Tart in Ted Lasso. He plays her husband, and Connie Britton's in it. It's from one of the Ted Lasso and Shrinking creators, which two amazing Apple TV series. And Steve Carell is amazing. It looks like it's going to be a ton of fun, so I'm excited for that new series to premiere this Sunday. On March 22nd, season 3, the final season of Lisa Kudrow's show The Comeback, debuts. And then on March 27th, the Ana de Armas starring Ballerina, the action movie set in the John Wick universe, comes out, which I talked about, I think, last February's What to Watch episode as well, because I'd checked that out. Let's hop on over to Hulu now. They had a few things drop on the 1st. They had Birdman, Dodgeball, Fight Club, Long Shot, West Side Story, the 2021 one with Steven Spielberg, and Speed, as well as the 2025 Portuguese political thriller, The Secret Agent, which I heard great things about and got a lot of award buzz. On March 3rd, seasons 1 through 6 of The Dark Side of the Ring come out. If you want to see behind the curtain and see the dark side of some professional wrestling, you can check that out. On March 6th, a true crime documentary, Friends Like These, The Murder of Skylar Neese, comes out. This is a story and a case I'm not very familiar with. It looks very interesting, so I may check that out. I'm not usually a big documentary person, but this one has me intrigued. And then also Killing Faith, which is a Western that has some kind of supernatural elements to it. And I think the Guy Pearce plays a doctor helping escort a woman and her daughter who people think she may be possessed, and he doesn't really know what's going on. It looks intriguing, doesn't have awesome reviews, but hey, I'll check it out on streaming. I love Guy Pearce. I'm a sucker for Guy Pearce. I think he's a fantastic actor, and so excited to see a new thing from him. I feel like I haven't heard much of him lately. And also, disclaimer, if some of these people, because I'm not like chronically online, I'm online enough for this podcast as I need to be. If any of these people have been canceled, I redact my love for them that I've proclaimed on here. On March 11th, a new original series comes out, Sunny Nights. It stars Will Forte and D'Arcy Carden as brother and sister Americans who own a spray tan company, and they decide to relocate to Sydney, Australia, and they get caught up with the wrong people. It looks ridiculous. It looks over the top. Looks like a lot of fun. So I'm excited to check that one out. I love both Forte and D'Arcy Carden. She's fantastic as Janet in The Good Place. One of my favorite kind of characters in that series. On March 12th, season 4 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives drops. And on March 15th, Theater Camp, the Ben Platt and Molly Gordon starring movie, which this is a perfect role for Ben Platt. It is they run a theater camp. It has all the musical theater nerds, tropes, write original songs, musicals. It's fun. It's ridiculous. It's campy. Highly recommend it. It's a great time, especially if you're listening to this podcast. This is a musical podcast. Check out Theater Camp. On March 23rd, another movie that's gotten a lot of award buzz this season is Sentimental Value. Stars Stellan Skarsgård and Renate Reinsve and Elle Fanning. Very emotional drama movie. It looks like it will be touching. It is a foreign film, so be prepared for subtitles on it, but it looks great, and I've heard nothing but great things about the performances in it. And then finally on March 27th, movie which finally dropped the trailer today. I'm recording this on the 2nd, so that's part of the reason I'm re-recording, because I actually got to see a trailer for this now. It is Mike and Nick and Alice. It is an original movie debuting on Hulu. It stars James Marsden as Mike, Isa Gonzalez as Alice, and Vince Vaughn as Nick. Vince Vaughn plays someone who traveled back in time and needs to stop his former self from doing something and fix a mistake that he made. So that's why Nick's in the title twice. 2 Nicks, 2 Vince Vaughns. It looks like a really fun action comedy. I'm excited to check it out. It's a very strong cast, so we'll see how that is. Over on Disney Plus, only 2 things really stood out to me, and both of them drop on March 24th, and that is the season 2 premiere of Daredevil Born Again, which is one of the other great things I feel like Marvel's done recently. I loved season 1, how it was shot, the story that it told. I think it is an amazing show. I've really enjoyed the Daredevil series as a whole, even the original seasons that were on Netflix. I'm excited to see what they do with season 2. And then Miley Cyrus is coming back for the Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special, if you need some nostalgia there. Over on Peacock, they had a giant drop on the 1st with things they wanted to call out. 8 Mile, one of my favorite, basically a musical biopic of all time. Argo, Beekeeper, which is a fun action movie. The Big Lebowski, Blockers, which is one of the most underrated kind of raunchy comedies of the past few years. John Cena is absolutely amazing in it. Cannot recommend Blockers enough. Check it out. Death Race, which I love Death Race. The Equalizer and The Equalizer 2, Denzel Washington. Fight Club, the entire Leprechaun series, which I have not watched all of them, but I have watched Leprechaun in the Hood. And that was due to How Did This Get Made? Paul Scheer, Diane Raphael, Jason Mantzoukas, and Kumail Nanjiani is the guest on it. So much fun. So watch the movie and then go listen to that How Did This Get Made episode. You will not regret it. Les Miserables, musical movie, comes out on the 1st as well. John Wick Chapter 4, Legally Blonde, Mamma Mia, and Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. The Other Guys, Promising Young Woman, Selena, Taken, Ted and Ted 2, and The Wiz. So a number of musical movies dropped on Peacock on the 1st. On March 5th, the series Ted has its season 2 premiere. On March 20th, Wicked for Good, the original movie and the sing-along version drop, so a week ahead of Amazon Prime. You can check it out on Peacock. And then on March 24th, the animated movie that was nominated for a number of awards, The Wild Robot, makes Peacock debut or return. It's been out for a while, a couple years old. On March 27th, a ridiculous horror movie in the Taken beloved IP that has now become public domain and turning it into an over-the-top horror movie, Bambi the Reckoning, which this trailer was ridiculous, but hey, I will probably check out this movie about a giant monster deer that is murdering people. It looks ridiculous. I'll check it out. On March 31st, Django Unchained, Hellboy, and Now You See Me and Now You See Me 2 come out on Peacock, rounding out the month there. Oh, as well as Silver Linings Playbook. Can't forget about that one. I actually really love that one. Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence. Over on Paramount Plus, our final streamer of the month. On March 1st, they released 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street, which Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill are nearly perfect in that movie. I love it. The original Friday 13th, 1 through 8. So the original movies that haven't been streaming anywhere for a while, they are making their Paramount Plus debut if you want to get caught up on the classics. Good Will Hunting, as well as both the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies. So Tomb Raider and The Cradle of Life. And then Pet Sematary, the 1989 original, the 2019 remake, as well as Pet Sematary 2. The Banshees of Inisherin, with Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell. People will either love or hate this movie. I thought it was fun and I enjoyed it for the ridiculousness that it was. Warrior, a fantastic Tom Hardy movie, kind of like has heart to it, tells family. It was like when it first came out, it was described as like Rocky if it was an MMA movie. As well as on the first, Marshals had its premiere. This is Yellowstone spinoff. It premiered on CBS and Paramount Plus. It is the spinoff focused on Casey Dutton. It also features Logan Marshall Green, who I feel like is a very underrated actor because I've loved everything I see him in. On March 14th, another Paramount Plus original series from Taylor Sheridan, The Madison, premieres. This stars primarily Michelle Pfeiffer as well as Kurt Russell, and is all about a family processing their grief and sorrow and healing together. It looks like a tearjerker. It looks emotional. Not necessarily my thing, but if that is for you, now you know where to check it out and where to find it. Okay, let's talk about what's coming to theaters this month. This Friday, the one that I'm most excited about that comes out is The Bride. This looks like a very unique movie. It stars Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster and Jessie Buckley as the bride of Frankenstein, who's the primary focus on this. It is written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. I am intrigued more and more every trailer I see, so I'm excited to check this out. New Pixar movie Hoppers debuts. This looks like a very unique movie. Humans found out they could create little robot animals and then go and communicate with animals, control them, learn from them. And so human Mabel does it and learns more about the animals and decides to unintentionally start a revolution against the humans where the animals decide they want to squash the humans. So it looks intriguing. It's already spawning memes, and I'm apparently so offline. My boss and my other fellow manager were trolling me for not knowing the lizard from this that is now apparently all over TikTok and Instagram. So I'm old. I don't know that. Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man is having a limited theater run on the 6th. So before 2 weeks before it drops on Netflix. They've been doing this for a while with the Netflix original movies, giving it a short theater run before it makes its Netflix debut, which, hey, it's better than nothing. You get the opportunity to see it on the big screen, but you still get to check it out streaming pretty shortly after. Next week, on March 13th, the newest Colleen Hoover novel adaptation, Reminders of Him, debuts, if you're looking for a sad romantic movie. And then a new A24 horror movie, Undertone, comes out. This is about a woman who runs the Undertone podcast. They get sent about 10 creepy audio files, and it kicks off some demonic haunting events. Trailer looks creepy. I will be watching this movie. I will not be watching this movie in the theaters. I will be watching it at home in my house. I enjoy horror movies in theaters, but I enjoy horror movies like Scream in theaters. I'll be checking out Scream 7 tomorrow night as I'm recording this. And so I'm excited to check that out. Undertone will not be what I'm watching in theaters. I don't want actual creepy movies in theaters. Also on the 13th, The Gates comes out. James Van Der Beek, in one of his last roles before his tragic passing, fuck cancer now and always. But James Van Der Beek plays a murderous pastor, cult leader, essentially. Mason Gooding, who's been in the most recent Scream movies, him and his friends find themselves in like a gated community, witness pastor commit a murder and are trying to escape. It looks intense. It looks fun. Looks like James Van Der Beek giving a kind of out of character performance for him. And so I'm excited to check it out. It looks amazing. Probably not a theater one just because I don't get to go to theaters as much as I would like, but I will definitely be checking this out at some point. Another release on the 13th that will probably be a home watch for me is Slanted. This was described, one of the quotes in the trailer, as Mean Girls meets The Substance. And it focuses on Shirley Chen plays an Asian teen who is facing prejudice at high school, feels like she doesn't fit in. So she gets a procedure for ethnic transformation to become white. And then that version of her is portrayed by McKenna Grace, who's just been crushing it lately and in everything. It is a body horror movie. It deals with some social issues. It's from Bleecker Street. I feel like Bleecker Street, Neon, and A24 have just been crushing it in the horror genre lately. So that one will be an interesting watch for me at some point down the line when it comes to streaming. On March 20th, the biggest movie of the month, Project Hail Mary. Ryan Gosling plays a science teacher in this sci-fi movie that's based on Andy Weir's novel of the same name. Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian, which was an awards darling for nominations in that one. This one, I'm hearing nothing but good things. It comes from the directing duo of Lord and Miller, who did the Lego Movie and the Spider-Verse movies. It's getting great early buzz. And so I'm not sure if this will be a theater watch for me. That even though it looks beautifully done, I like Ryan Gosling, there's something that hasn't quite sucked me in yet from the previews and everything. And I feel like their last trailer is giving away so much of the movie. But I don't know. I will be checking this out at some point because I love me some sci-fi and I love me some Ryan Gosling. So can't complain there. But what I'm actually excited about on the 20th is Ready or Not 2. Here I come. This is Samara Weaving, and she's back in the horror sequel. Ready or Not, she plays her fiance. She finds out that she's in basically his family's death cult. She has to escape them, fight back. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. This one now, her and her sister must escape 4 families who are fighting for leadership of this death cult. So looks intriguing. Some over-the-top gory action. Excited to check that out. And if you're looking for something more heartwarming, Rose Byrne stars in Tow. It's inspired by a true story about a mother who's living in her car. It gets it gets stolen, then towed, and just kind of uncovers some corruption about fees to get things out and payments and fighting back. It's a story about resilience, little person kind of fighting back against corruption and the big corporations. And it looks heartwarming. It has Octavia Spencer, Ariana DeBose, Demi Lovato, Corbin Benson. So a stacked cast in it, and it looks very heartwarming. And then on the 27th, the last weekend of new movies, what I'm most excited about is They Will Kill You. Zazie Beetz stars as a woman who takes a housekeeper job in a New York City high-rise, then basically finds out that it's essentially a temple to Satan, and they do an offering regularly, and she is set to be the offering. The only trailer they have out is a Red Band trailer, which if you don't know what that is, it's R-rated, so it has the gore, it has swearing. This looks like over-the-top, ridiculous action, but like so much fun. So I'm really excited to check this one out. Another movie that is a little bit campy on purpose is Forbidden Fruits. Lily Reinhart stars as Apple. She is the leader of a witches cult, along with Alexandra Shipp and Victoria Pedretti, fantastic in Mike Flanagan's Haunting of Hill House and some other of his productions. But basically, they're a secret witch cult out of a mall store. So it looks ridiculous, but looks like it could be a lot of fun. And then another sad, heartwarming tearjerker movie that comes out on the 27th is She Dances. This is co-written by Steve Zahn and stars Steve Zahn, which I love Steve Zahn, usually a comedic actor. Him and his daughter Audrey Zahn feature in it. It's an emotional film about family. Steve Zahn is a single father trying to connect with his daughter at a dance competition. So it looks like it is about struggle, hardship, persevering, reconnecting, fighting through, getting through grief. It looks heartbreaking, but it looks like a beautiful movie. So if that's your thing, you can check that out on the 27th. All right. That's it for what's coming to streaming and theaters. Let's wrap it up with some Broadway musical talk. They announced that Moulin Rouge will be concluding its run on Broadway later on this year. And shortly after that, they announced one of the most insane stunt castings that I've seen on Broadway. So if you're not familiar with stunt casting, it's when it's not necessarily the most talented singer that they bring in. They bring a celebrity in to kind of help bolster some numbers, sell tickets, right? They announced that Megan Thee Stallion will be playing Zidler in Moulin Rouge on Broadway from March 24th through May 17th. So Zidler is a role that has been stunt casted quite a bit. Wayne Brady played the role. Bob the Drag Queen just recently finished or is finishing up a run in the role. But Megan Thee Stallion, a wild choice, I feel like. She's making her Broadway debut. So if you're a giant Megan Thee Stallion fan and you're like, hey, I want to see her Broadway debut, you can do so in March 24th through May 17th at Moulin Rouge. I love Moulin Rouge. I went to see it twice when it was here on tour. It is a very fun show. I'll be interested to see how she portrays Zidler. You gotta be careful. That sounds like Diddler, which is not great. But there you go. That's my one Broadway piece of news that I have. Now, my Broadway series announcement. My local theater, their tours, the Broadway tours that they get in, we usually do a 5-show package, and they usually have a couple of add-ons. Last year and this year, they've had one show that they can't really announce yet until later. Usually that's because the new tour or dates haven't been announced yet. So last year it was Moulin Rouge. This year, they're promising it is also one of the most requested shows. It's going to be here for a 6-day run, which is longer than normal. And it's returning to the Leeds Center. So, unfortunately, that means it's not one of the new ones like maybe Happy Ending, Just in Time, Buena Vista Social Club, Death Becomes Her, or The Great Gatsby. So I'm kind of bummed about that because I was really hoping we'd get one of those, and we got none of them. The ones that were announced is Clue, the musical. Did not know that was a musical. Not sure how I feel about that one. Shucked, which I've heard great things about, and it fits. It's corn. It's going to be at the University of Nebraska. Cornhuskers. It fits. Makes sense. One of the ones I'm most excited about, Water for Elephants. This is one I don't know much about, but the trailer got me sucked in. Got some acrobatics. Sounds like some beautiful music. I know it's based on the book and the movie, so may check that out prior to seeing the show. But I'm excited about that one. And then finally, the season will be closing out with Hamilton, which I love Hamilton. It is always amazing. But I have seen it 4 times now. This will be my 5th time seeing it. I know that's ultimate first world problems. I am very spoiled and very lucky to have been able to see it so many times. So I'll be excited to see this new production. I think almost every show that I've seen, someone's gone on to either debut in Broadway shortly after it, either on Hamilton or something else, or be in movies. So I've recognized people that I have seen in it. So I'm excited to see it again. But they're just on a rotation where Hamilton is either in Lincoln or Omaha every year. Like I saw Hamilton in Omaha last year. Now it's going to be in Lincoln, technically next year in 2027. But in the Broadway seasons, it's just been making the rounds. And so it's kind of been run to death here. And even like Shucked, it was just in Omaha a month ago. So that one's about a year out. I wish they would give like at least a gap year in between. But I get it. It's the tour. You get them when you can get them. My predictions for what the unannounced show, the mystery show will be. It's actually the one kicking off the Broadway season. It starts in December. My guess would be Lion King, just because I know that's one that has a lot of buzz and people love. Phantom, but Phantom's already announced their tour and they've already announced stops in other cities. Like I've seen on like Reddit and stuff, other cities have been having their national tours announcements. Or maybe Wicked. Wicked's another one that was just in Omaha this past. Actually, it's not even here yet. It's here in May, which actually I'm making it. That's my official prediction. That's probably why they haven't made their announcement, because it is going to be in Omaha in May. So they're not going to announce that's coming to Lincoln until after May to make sure that they sell all their tickets in Omaha in May. That's it. That's what I figured out now. It's going to be Wicked. 75% confident it's going to be Wicked. So we'll see. Could be Wicked coming. The add-ons though. One is Riverdance, which that should be fun. But the other one is one of the things I'm most excited about, and that is Adam Pascal and Anthony Rapp in concert. So the original Roger and Mark from Rent, they've been doing this for a while, kind of touring. They tell stories, they sing some songs from Rent, they sing other songs together, other Broadway songs, other just classic songs in general, and I'm really excited about that. That's November of this year, so that will be the first thing I see in this Broadway season as an add-on, and I'm really pumped for that. I love those guys, love the show. Rent holds a special place in my heart, and this podcast heart. We've talked about it on here plenty of times, so I'm very excited about that. And that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you for tuning in. Drop down in the comments what you're most excited to check out on streaming in theaters this month that I highlighted on here. Or if there's something I missed that you're excited about, drop that. And which Broadway show, drop your prediction for the mystery show and which one you want me to see most. That's right. I want to see like whole novels in the comments on YouTube and Instagram. So that's your assignment. Your other assignment is to share this with someone you know who you think may enjoy it, who's looking for something to watch this month, or who loves musicals, or just wants some random bullshit. That's what this podcast is good for. So like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Have a great month of March. Love y'all. Thank y'all. Don't forget to go down once more. Later. Oh, nope, I can't sign off yet. Scratch that. I need to do like a record scratch insert if I want to take that time to edit it. Next week's podcast. Not sure if this will follow exactly next week or if it will be 2 weeks, depending on when I can record and edit. I will be seeing The Music Man live to close out my current Broadway season on this Thursday, the 5th. And then I will be recording a review with Amy. She will be returning. We will be reviewing the original 1962 movie, as well as kind of the Broadway show. Me from being able to see it, her as she had performed in it, and running like the local theater backstage, so like community theater productions of it. So that'll be fun. I'm excited for that. What I'm not as excited about is The Music Man. I watched the movie for the first time. Aggressively not for me. I do tend to struggle with the classic musicals. I know that's a little bit blasphemy having a musical podcast, but I don't know. I didn't love it, and so I'm hoping that seeing it live will give me a different kind of opinion and outlook on it. That tends to happen sometimes seeing it live. I can connect with it more, but we'll see. We'll see. It should be fun regardless, but aggressively not for me. Aggressively not for me. Now, once again, thank you all. Love y'all. Don't forget to go down once more. Later.